Welcome to clickmeprojects.com. We are going to see the paper related to locality preserving, clustering and discovery of resources in wide area distributed computation grids. This paper comes under the domain of grid computing. Of course, we are in need to know some challenges present in grid computing, and this paper is going to address a challenge that is how to have the delivery over the overlay networks, in the sense grid resource sharing. This thing is going to address the grid resource sharing. First of all, grid computing is nothing but sharing of resources. So how to get the flexibility when the resources being shared, that is the main objective of this particular paper. Okay, now for the past several years, what happened means there was an immense popularity over the grid resource sharing. So there came the evolution of content delivery overlay networks. Actually, what data structure they followed means DHT. Okay, that is hash table. Distributed hash table was the preliminary data structure that was being followed so far. See what it is being containing means it will contain the key nodes with respect to the networks. So this was the main concept of this particular paper. Of course, heterogeneous grid resources will be owned by different organizations in order to have the flexibility of the resources over the wide area networks. So in order to discover for many applications, so existing grids will be applying those centralized and hierarchical grids, but there was some certain drawbacks. That's why we are going to have some particular approach. So what is the problem in the existing system means grids were as these grids were being applied to centralized and hierarchical control, this is the scalability over the networks was a main limitation. That is, organization of all grid nodes into DHT overlay. What it led to it had some limitations over large scale dynamic grid applications with various resources of demands, and that's why another thing called files were also came, but of course it was not flexible. Okay, the resource queries which is called as file lookups are routed to the nodes consisting of the descriptors, which is the consisting of the descriptors based on the required resources. So what happened means lacking of locality in the DHTs. That was the main issue that was being addressed. Hence, we are going to propose a mechanism called dynamic resilient mechanism, and which is going to have a grid resource management scheme that is based on the data locality preserving. So that is the main concept. This is the DHT, the mechanism which is being proposed by us. Okay, how we are going to propose our proposed system means grid resource management scheme that is having data locality preserving. It consists of 4 policies, that is dynamic resilient cluster token forwarding, and inside that how to forward the tokens, the descriptors and everything will be seen, and then deadline driven resource management schemes. So these are the schemes that is being proposed to have the better grid resource management scheme. Now we are going to see the flow of this particular paper. Before that, the cycloids will be formed. Okay, cycloids means we are in need to term in terms of clusters here. Okay, so cycloids will be first of all we are in need to frame the cycloids, and after that the nodes for identification we are in need to have some ID for that, and resource will be also having some identification. So resource ID will be generated, and then after that all these things will be based on some mechanisms. Okay, and after that we are in need to group the resource based on the locality. Okay, so that is the next step, that is which we are need to frame. And then what we are in need to do is actually what is the overall objective of this paper is to process the urgent request immediately without waiting for next periodical resource allocation. That is the main objective. And after that, processing resource request in ascending order of the deadlines in the sense we can have some arrival, okay, time, that is arrival time we can have the thing. Okay, and first of all, environmental setup. This is going to consist of hierarchical cycloid overlay network implementation, and then locality preserving grid resource clustering is the next step. This environmental setup is to have the grid environment formation. After that, the cycloid ID is for having the cluster segregations. That is, for example, if I'm having 10 resources, means I may need to initiate ID for each and every resources, and of course some of the resources will be present in one cluster and some in other clusters, right? So in order to identify the things that differentiate between different clusters, we are need to have the cycloid ID, and after that resource descriptor, which resource is present in which particular IP, all those things we are need to formulate. And then insert operations, successfully inserted in some need to that is, we are in need to have the things in each and every node as well as the primary node, which is becoming the cluster head for each and every cluster, will be having some insert operation. That is the thing constitute of which ID is constituted of which particular resource. That is a thing, right? All those routing things is being having by using this PRP algorithm. Using this dynamic resilient mechanism, what we are in need to do is neighborhood node transfer. We are in need to formulate, that is wrapping the tokens and formulate the which is the best ID to circulate that particular request for a particular resource, right? See, all those things we are in need to do by using this dynamic resilient mechanism. Deadline driven resource management is nothing but collect all the requested resources, sort all the resources based on the arrival time, and necessary allocations will be made based on the availability, and message dispatching for each and every node, that is which is going to give the cluster, which is going to provide the cluster resource request, will be getting this message. Also the things will be updated to the primary node, right? And a node relieving and all those things will be taken care by using the dynamic resilient mechanism. This is the overall concept of our particular paper. Now we are going to see the running procedure of this project. For that, you are need to open this particular project cluster, that is the source code, and after that you are need to start the WAM server after deploying all those database in the particular in the WAM server. After that, you are need to open this init_1.java, and before that you can also add the libraries. If any error is rising, means it is due to the abstract. Okay, you can just add those jars which I have given, right? And after that, just click this init_1.java and start running the project. It is better to give the cycloid ID as 4, so that those number of nodes will be created. Okay, less than 4, 3 or 4 you can give. Okay, and then you need to create the nodes. After that, get the resource ID. After that, you need to get some data. So this distance is being computed, and this is the node ID, and this is the cluster that is being generated. IDS is to initiate, and that is yes, nodes in cluster and cluster differentiation. That in the sense those nodes are differentiated by these IDs, right? And after that, IDs and functionalities are formed, and after that, this functionality, this node is getting this particular resource. Its particular hash IDs are also estimated, and then we are going to have the resource request CPU. This ID is requesting for this particular CPU. Total number of instances is 3. So this is being added. This IP is going to request some other resource request 2 instances. It is being added. So enough. If you want, you can just give the refresh and you can continue. Now the resource is being generated at the C2. If cluster 2 C2 is going to receive all those requests. So this is so here I have displayed the IDs, that is which is the directory node for each and every IDs. Okay, and after that, wrapping into descriptors, that process is done here, and after that the descriptors are created successfully, and then you are going to start the running, that is we are going to provide the request, right? And see, the requests are available are these nodes. Okay, these nodes with the IPs, right? This IP has requested, and it can be formulated into these nodes. Okay, all those things we'll be seeing in this particular thing. See, allotted to nodes, TP total request is 3, availability is 3. Allotted to the nodes, bandwidth total needs 2, availability is 4. Okay, so these nodes are allotted, and after that, so the request is sent to 46. So eliminated from resource request list. That is a thing. This request is sent to the ID A78. This thing is eliminated from the resource request list. Now we are going to see the resource request list and available resource request list. Okay, you can just view the things. And now we are going to perform dynamic resilient mechanism. Now any node is coming for to join in some cluster, it is having this particular request, is giving this particular resource, total number of instances is 2. So this particular thing is allotted to C5 as per the dynamic resilient mechanism. So which ID is perfect for this particular resource, that ID will be mapped. Elimination will be based on, if any descriptors is being missed or it is being eliminated, means the things will be forwarded to the previous node. That thing is being done. So I'm going to eliminate this particular node. This node is being shifted to 106. So in this way the dynamic resilient mechanism is done. So this is the overall concept of this particular project. Thanks for listening. Thank you.